amazing website. All of our agents are using it. It's called newchoicehealth.com. Newchoicehealth.com. It's free. I can input my information for Sarasota, which this shows Sarasota open hernia surgery through the groin or abdomen, and it shows me the most expensive cost for that procedure in Sarasota, and it shows me the least expensive cost, which is $28,800 for the most expensive, $7,300 for the least expensive, with a potential savings of $2,150. Now, why do I show that to you? Well, first of all, I want you to see that we as licensed agents view this as a chess game. It's not checkers. We're forced to become educated, to be that expert for our clients. So we have facilitative websites like this that will enable them to make the right decision to lower their out-of-pocket expenses. Now, I'm not going to go back to the temporary plan because we saw it. $5,000 was my out-of-pocket for the was $2,500 with a 70-30 co-insurance. That means that I'm co-insuring with the organization United Healthcare with a maximum out-of-pocket of $10,000. Let's just say take these two and make the average of these two, which is $17,500. Okay, there's going to be repricing on that because just like Costco, Sam's Club, when you link arms with that many people and you have that card, it's not a Sarasota library card because they wouldn't let you in, would they? But with a Costco card, I can go in there and I can leverage the buying power and economies of scale that's going to lower my price. It's the same thing here. So network repricing means that the retail value for the guy on the street is $17,500. However, with us, it's going to be right around $12,000. I'm going to be really conservative. So $12,000. My maximum out-of-pocket for that United Healthcare plan, which is a temporary plan, is what, $10,000? You remember that? Mm-hmm. So out of that $12,500, my responsibility is $10,000. Now, two things happen. Number one, I'm covered for the entire year. I've met my deductible, haven't I? So that means 100%, anything that happens to me is covered. Well, what if that hernia surgery happens December 28th? What happens on January 1st? It starts over. With the temporary plan, it's only 11 months. So accident injury with the ACA. Again, $17,500, it's a Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. They have the network repricing. It takes it down to $10,000. Let's just do that. So I'm going to pay $5,000. Again, I'm going to be covered 100%, but my premium is around $600 a month. I don't know about that. So the last one we talked about with the unqualified plan. And the reason I like this is because it makes so much sense. Why not come up with a way that the deductible is manageable, $3,000. But let's make that deductible vanishing deductible or diminishing deductible. And in this case, we are linked arms again with an association that has the healthiest entrepreneurs and small business owners and individuals, families, and their employees in the United States. Because they're healthy, we're able to keep those premiums down and offer things like an association that will pick up $2,500 of the $3,000 deductible. That leaves my out-of-pocket expense limited to $500. That's a lot better than $10,000 for a temporary plan, isn't it? It's a heck of a lot better than $5,000 for an ACA compliant plan. So that's the accident. Critical illness. 10 days in the hospital, 4 days in ICU. Anybody have a guess of how much that would be? 10 days in the hospital for a myocardial infarction heart attack. There was no bypass. He just had, any guesses?
$50,000.
$85,694 bill. And now that's the retail price. So if you don't have insurance, that's what you're going to pay. Now the repricing, believe it or not, was $56,000 discount. That tells you how much fluff there is in hospitals because they're trying to make up for all the shortcomings they've had in the past year in charging people $3,000 for a CT scan that someone can get for $200. It happens all the time. So in that $85,694, and this is an explanation of benefits, the critical illness for the temporary plan is what, $5,000 for that you're going to pay. For the ACA compliant plan, I'm going to come out of pocket $5,000, or the temporary plan is $10,000 out of pocket. The ACA plan is $5,000, but with our plan here, I want to back up so you can see this. Oh, where'd it go? right here, I have what embedded into this plan is a critical illness, what we call it, it's our proprietary name, it's called MedGuard. So in the event, in this triggering event would be the infarction, would be that heart attack. Within 10 business days, a check would come to me in the amount of $10,377. Now that's my money. The insurance is going to take care of inside the hospital, but we want to cover both sides of there's two sides to that hospital. There's the outside wall where the bills continue to come in, don't they? They don't stop coming in if you're critically injured or sick. The second piece of that is if there's a $3,000 deductible for the sickness portion of this, which that would be considered a sickness, the heart attack, I'm going to peel $3,000 off of that found money, $10,377, keep $7,377 to pay my mortgage, to pay for my food, my fuel, fill in the blank. That's outside the hospital. But that's going to take care of 100%, and if I need to go over because of something else happened, and now I end up having $1 million bill, I can actually take this plan because I'm paying for what I need right now. So this plan is for now, and it's for later. Can you imagine, because we all live in Florida here, not having hurricane insurance, but as the roof is separating from your house, you have the best hurricane insurance the state can offer. That's the analogy for this. Another analogy that I like is 1010 is the standard. I have a property and casualty person in the audience today, but 10,000 is the state requirement for car insurance. As you are getting into a car accident with a Bentley, you have the best insurance that is would enable to take care of that whole situation. I don't know too many situations like that, but that's really good. So we talked about accident injury. Let's talk about donut hole. The donut hole is for things like laparoscopy for your gallbladder. It would be like a splenectomy. It'd be an appendix. Those aren't accidents or injuries, are they? It's not critical. So what is it? So the donut hole, in the sense that you have a, for example, gallbladder, which this happened to one of my clients recently, and it was at Sarasota Memorial, it's $24,000, and we reduced it by $5,000 to $19,000. So that's right in line there. So $40,000, so it's about $20,000 surgery on average. So with the gallbladder surgery as the donut hole, that's where the $3,000 deductible, there isn't a vanishing for that. We don't have the MedGuard that would help that. We don't have the association that's going to pay down that deductible. So in this case, the maximum out of pocket for the donut hole is $3,000, which is a heck of a lot better than 10, isn't it? So for me, that one makes sense. But typical uses of insurance, because that is hospitalization, that's more catastrophic stuff. But what about the day-to-day stuff? That's doctor's visits. So let's talk about it. A general practitioner. So a GP, primary care physician, it's about $150. I'm going to have it for the next one, but one of the managers here at our organization had a sick visit where he went in. It was repriced from $150 to $85, and then the company for the unqualified plan pays the next 75 of the $85, so his out-of-pocket was less than $10 is what he had to pay for that. It's more of a traditional look and feel what we're used to as far as co-pays, because if you look at the ACA plan, they still call it a copay, but it's not really a copay because you still have to pay for the office visit if you haven't met your deductible. Does everybody understand that? Naked insurance, okay? So general practitioner visits, do we got that? So basically you're going to be paying, and again, anecdotally, as low as $10, as high as $40, depending upon where you live in the country. And this plan, this unqualified plan, is written in 44 states. For specialist visits, a retail specialist visit, that's a neurologist, that's a podiatrist, that is a urologist, endocrinologist, those types of people. It's a $250 retail appointment for them. But we don't pay retail because, remember, we're linking arms with a lot of other people that drive that cost down. So with the specialist visit, we reprice it down to, say, from $250 down to $150. We pay the next $75 for that. I don't know anybody that's gone bankrupt from a doctor's visit. So your out-of-pocket could be as high as $75. It could be lower. I'm just using that anecdotally, okay? Prescription drugs. With the temporary plan, with all of these, we talked about that already with the ACA plan, with the temporary plan, you're going to have to come out of pocket. That Blue Cross plan did show the first 3 office visits, I didn't have to pay anything, but I still believe, and I'm going to confer with my Blue Cross agent in the audience, that even though you don't have to pay the copay, the first 3 are free, you still have to pay the reduced amount. And I'm almost positive that's the case because of naked insurance. With the temporary plan, it's the same thing with specialists in general. So with the prescription drugs, you have generic and name brand. Now the cool thing about generic is once a drug is generic, especially antibiotics, I don't know if you've had experience, there's a lot of fathers and husbands in the audience today and young children. When you go to an antibiotic at Walmart, at Target, at Publix, azithromycin, any type of antibiotic, penicillin, it's free, or it's $5. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm pretty good on that. Now we pay up to $10 for that generic brand for the non-qualified plan, where again, with the temporary plan and the ACA compliant plan, you have to satisfy that deductible. Brand names is $30, up to $30 for that name brand. So let me give you an example. If the name brand costs $20, we're going to pay $20. We're not going to pay $30 for it, so that's the up to. If it's a $5 generic, we're going to reimburse that $5 so your out-of-pocket is $0. Mail order 90-day supply. I've got a couple of really great websites. One of them I've used for years is called pharmacychecker.com, and pharmacychecker.com for someone that is on just a simple simvastatin for high blood pressure, or lisinopril or Lipitor for cholesterol, you're going to get a 90-day supply for pennies on the pill, and that's because you're utilizing someone that has been doing this for a long time and that wants to reduce the amount that you pay. The job of the agents that are in the room here is that we want to make sure that your assets are protected. You take care of your aspirins because your house costs, $400,000 and the aspirins cost $3. So that's the whole point of this. How I'd like to say it is that we have to change the way that we look. We have to change our perspective about health insurance in the United States today, don't we? Ancillary services to me would mean labs and imaging. That is a total blood count, CBC, or a lipid panel for my liver. What we have done is we've gone out instead of, and I did this, I didn't get into the accident on purpose, but I did get the imaging at one of my cash networks. I got an MRI for $200. That same MRI at Sarasota Memorial is $2,500. I got the CT scan on purpose at Sarasota Memorial, and I didn't get it at the cash network just to prove a point because it wasn't my fault. There's something called PIP, which is personal injury for car insurance. So her car insurance paid that CT scan. Anybody hazard a guess at how much the hospital charged me for a CT scan, bone density scan? Anyone? Anyone?
$2,000.
$3,250. That's a good guess. But that is interesting because they said, not only do we want to take a C-spine CT scan, but we also want to take one of your head. And I said, I'm sure you do. And I didn't let them because I knew that there was nothing wrong. Well, other people might say there's something wrong with my head, but no, seriously, I was okay. But labs and imaging, if you know where to go, who to talk to, ask your expert. I want to make that into bumper stickers. I have a printer in the audience, and he's going to make that sticker for me. Ask your expert, ACARoadMap.com, something like that. But labs and imaging, if I have the ability to get 3 blood panels for $99 versus going to my pharmacist or to my doctor who gives me the prescription, like Intercoastal. Intercoastal is huge. You ever been there before? Here in Sarasota. Well, Intercoastal will say, yeah, our phlebotomist is right down there. Well, they're going to charge you $225 for 1 blood panel. Well, why not get the prescription from the doctor because we've trained our people what to do, and then go to one of our cash providers and get 3 panels for $99, thereby decreasing the amount of out-of-pocket expenses. So labs, imaging, dental, alternative medicine, that's chiropractic, that is dental, obviously, that's vision. These are things that we have solutions for. Does everybody want all of that stuff? No, but we have the answers for those people that do because we're equipped and we care. Wellness visits. Now this is interesting because if you make something like this an issue, because there was a woman at a small group that she just couldn't get off of the fact that my ACA compliant plan and my United Healthcare plan, well, they don't charge me for my wellness visit. And I go, okay. I go, that's fine. I said, the non-compliant plan, we're just the opposite of the ACA. And the thing that I wanted to let her know was that this is $10,000 right here. That's 10 grand, okay? And just bust it open. That's kind of cool. So that's $10,000. Now imagine the fact that this is what we are going to save you by purchasing a non-qualified plan. And I said, well, I said, ma'am, I said, the woman has more things to do with the doctor as far as her physical. And the physical that that men go to, it's pretty simple. Exam and that's it. But with a woman, you have potentially, it offers her free, I'll talk about that, but biennial exams mean once every 2 years. And the oil change analogy is, I really want to know where 3,000 miles to change your oil came from, because it didn't come from the manufacturers, it came from the oil companies, didn't it? The manufacturer on every single car, Chevrolet, Ford, doesn't matter, look in your owner's manual. They will void the warranty if you do not change your oil for 7,500 miles. So they say, well, you know, the viscosity is going low, so you should change it every 3,000 miles. Well, what's that doing? I'm changing my twice. It's the same thing. Biennial exams for someone under 50, that means once every 2 years. I'm a wordsmith and I didn't know that. I found that out like 5 years ago. But biannual means once a year. If you're healthy, I'm just saying, if you want to go every single year, you're going to pay, even a woman, compared to that, you're going to pay about $500 and you're going to save because the woman has the PAP, the cytological screening, the mammogram, and the examination itself. But we're not part of the retail group, are we? Because we have the repricing, we have the cash network, and we're going to be able